Last year we closed the books on the first century of our history. Today we will go back to the archives and remove that record before it bleached with age and covered with dust of time. I beg leave of you to go with me and let us re-examine our own past. A great poet has said, our lives are written in volumes 3, the past, the present, and the yet to be. The first we've written and laid away. The second we are writing every day. The third of this, volume 3, is hid from sight. God keeps the key.
Yes. Yes.
We plod our way up the steep and narrow passes on the mountain of retrospection. We stand on the tableland of that great mountain, looking not before us, but backward.
Yes.
When the holy saint of the Old Testament climbed Mount Horeb, he stood alone in the quietness and solitude of that mountain. He didn't look backward. He looked forward.
Yes.
He saw in the distance a land of promise. The streams were matting the countryside. The grassy slopes of the fertile fields revealed themselves, and the fruitage of grapes were plenteous. And honeybees were swarming in the breeze. And somebody said to Moses, take your time, look at it, view it. For amidst all of your dreams and hopes, this is as close as you'll ever get. Moses bowed his head and thanked God. Then, like a disappointed hero, he turned his back on the promised land and moved slowly, painfully, down the declivities of the mountain on his way back to trouble, silence, and disappointment. And this is my reward, said Moses. I braved the dark clouds of Egypt. I marched slowly and quietly, and I saw the providence of God beat back the waters of the Red Sea and build a bridge across the swelling tide. And now I got this close and can't go. Today I ask you to stand with me on another mountain. We are not looking at this time forward. We're looking backward.
All right.
The lands we view are lands we knew. The trails are the tracks of pilgrims. The moving streams represent our efforts and our creation. We've been there. Those little green hills on the side represent pilgrims who started with us. Night overtook them. The grim forces of death rocked them to sleep. And they left us with a prayer on their lips, saying to us, go forward. We shall not travel with you beyond this solemn spot.
All right.
But amidst all the perils and the difficulties and heartaches, don't stop.
Don't stop.
We will not be with you when you cross the line of your first century.
All right.
But rest assured, we are at ease. And so, looking in the past, we now reflect a minute. 12 years after this great convention was born, 3 saintly women gathered in the town of Little Rock, Arkansas. They had a little letter they wanted to send to the 12th setting of that convention. They had known the heartaches and the problems, and they wrote this letter and sent it to the session by the Dr. E.C. Morris. They couldn't attend the meeting. Humble memory, tired, perplexed. And this is what they wrote. Dear brethren, in spite of the recent overflow, disasters, lynchings and the burning of that man in Texarkana, we are thankful to say, through the kindness of divine providence, we are able, through our delegate, Reverend E.C. Morris, to send to you $15 to help save the cause of missions in Africa. We pray continually for the redemption of the dark continent. May God bless you and keep the convention and its offices. Free women sending $15 to save a dark continent. But note what they said. In spite of the overflows, floods, in spite of disasters, in spite of lynchings, in spite of that man they burned the other day, we are thankful to God that He spared us to send $15 for the redemption of Africa. And that's the story of the National Baptist Convention. These rich words from humble women are recorded today in the Lamb's book, in the eternal pages of divine destiny. In spite of disasters, in spite of floods, in spite of lynchings, in spite of that man they burned the other day, we are thankful to God for His providence, and we are sending to you $15. What they were saying, in spite of difficulties, in spite of the rough winds of evil and Satan, in spite of the cosmic failures and the groaning of the universe and the belching of floods, we are thankful to God. I wish many of our young people could read this prayer. Thankful to God, not for the burnings, not for the lynchings. Thankful to God because in spite of these things, God had been still with them. And they took something out of their little pocketbooks to save not for themselves, but to send to save Africa. That's the spirit that has made this convention great. It's a convention of in spite of religion. Back in the early days, when this nation was being born, Crispus Attucks was the first to fall on Boston Commons. A man of color, but a man dedicated to the redemption and the salvation of the colonies for the making of a great nation. He died for a cause. Nat Turner got tired of segregation, got tired of this change. He called the group together and said, let's break a loose by force. They tried to save themselves. Fate overtook them. The destiny of the sword was measured. Nat Turner went down to defeat. But because that these women recognized, did not fail, their prayers are with us today. In spite of what happens, we go on to do our best. This is a great nation with many weaknesses and problems, but there's something here worth saving. We need not curse the whole nation because some segregators are here. We need not damn our souls because some of us are still held in shame. We have a great nation and a great destiny. It's not our job as a people to be used by folks who wish to destroy America, its institutions, its laws, and its leaders. Take the time, examine the facts, and be slow to sit in judgment on everything American. Let destiny speak. Let time protect us. And let the eternal Father be on our side. I'm slow to criticize elected officials. They represent some of the best we have. Don't kill them off. Be patient. Somebody asked me about Reagan's cuts. He's president of the United States. And by that vote of America, that puts him a little higher than I am. I have a right to respect him. I have respected every president. Everyone that's elected, I respect him because I believe in America. He may not be all I want, but he's something I need. When I went to the Olivet Church about 40 years ago, there was a woman in that church, wonderful woman, but she didn't like me. And the folks tried to win her to elect and to be respectful of me. She said, I don't like him. I don't like his looks. I don't like the way he stands. And the brother said calmly, well, what about his ability to preach? She said, he does very well. What about his ability to manage business? She said, that's very fair. What do you know of his character? She said, nothing. I don't want to know. But I just don't like him. He was a good member of the choir and he was an usher. He said, well, listen, What in the hell do you like in a preacher? Everything you don't like. What is there you don't like, and what is there you like? Both of them have gone away.